But yeah, speaking of art, I want to start talking about Dream Master.
All
We all
right.
okay with that?
That
Um,
sounds good.
so you talked about earlier, just like you don't really know a lot of times like who you're going to get art back from.
Right.
And so how did you get? Well, let's see. You're artist for Dream Master Luigi.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Luigi Baricelli. Yes.
Baricelli, great
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
So did
Oh
did
yeah.
Black Box just connect you with him, or did you have
Yeah.
previous history?
That was all black box, and I had no say of who they were going to hire for it. And when I was writing the first couple of scripts, I didn't even know who the artist was going to be. And I think it was when I was writing issue 3 that I finally started seeing pages back from issue 1, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't know. Like, now I know what this artist can do. I need to like give this guy more
Yeah.
stuff per panel, per page, because Luigi just adds so much to it, and his details are amazing. So
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think that's why issue 3, this arc really finds itself in issue 3,
Oh yeah.
because that's when I knew who I had, as my guitar soloist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
To use a musical analogy, but
So
yeah, he's amazing.
how
Just to
does
show the just got switched out. Go ahead.
how does like did you describe what Dream Master looked like to Luigi? Or did he
No,
just come up with that?
that was Black Box kind of working hand in hand with him.
Oh, okay.
Since there's they own the IP, they went through back and forth with Luigi on character design, and I got brought in to just input, but I didn't have like any like hard like no, that can't be it, or yes, that is it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was mainly Black Box driving what his look is.
So
Yeah,
yeah. So
I love
like
that double
when you
page
when you're
splash right there.
that's a great page, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The dragon.
Mhm.
Sorry for
Um,
all of our audio listeners, but yeah, go ahead and check out the art in this because it is
just
phenomenal.
go to your local comic shop and ask them
Yeah.
to get you Dream Master.
Yeah,
Um,
for serious.
and
I
it
I'm a big fan of the design. I think that's really cool, and I'm sure like again like being able to see that and write for that character was probably like I would
Yeah.
imagine that very much goes hand in hand with the
I'll
writing
hold up the
process.
first issue here so people
Yeah. So
watching can see.
someone described it as like German death metal Rorschach. From I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
totally.
I'm down with that. It gives those
pretty dope.
vibes.
So did you have like a drawing of him already, or is this some like did they give this drawing to Luigi and he played with it? And did you also have like the same like image?
Yeah, I mean, I had some very loose layouts and sketches of the character before really
Yeah.
diving deep into the series. But like I said, I was already like on issue 3 when I saw real like final inked pages and getting colored pages back too from Ruben, the colorist, and I was blown away. Like being hired onto this book and not having to pay for this type of quality, it is just a dream come true. No pun intended.
Yeah.
It's I could not afford the production of this book for sure.
Yeah. No, it is
Well-
it is phenomenal.
So
I
let's
just-
we didn't even really get into like the story of it at all.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would be appropriate, Jonathan, for you to tell us a story, but because I feel like when I tell a story, it's terrible. And so I feel like I always feel like a child when I talk about like
That's
the
okay.
narratives of the story. I'm just like, well, this happened and then this,
Right.
and but yeah, you want to just set up the premise for us?
Yeah, the elevator pitch I like to give people is imagine Freddy Krueger, but he's a good guy. And
yeah.
and let's say I'm like at like a con or a signing. Once I've got the person to stop after I've told them that, then I usually give them more of a synopsis. And Dream Master is this cursed person, this cursed hero that lives in a dream world that protects us from our nightmares, because in this comic book you can actually die in your nightmare, and if you wake up, it's because he saved you, but you don't even know who he is. So he's this thankless, unsung hero that's just cursed to protect us. And the person that's trying to kill people, if she's called the Queen of the Night, and if she gets enough souls, she can actually enter our reality, and then our reality would collapse, and we would always be living inside a nightmare. So
Yeah.
I get to have a lot of fun with that.
It is, and it's really fun to read.
Yeah, thank you.
I really like. I knew of it because I had asked a few weeks ago, like, what comic are you looking forward to coming out? And you responded with Dream Master #3, and I was like,
hashtag promoted.
Yeah.
Hey,
and I was like, you
definitely should. It's worth it.
Yeah. And so I immediately ordered them after you said that. And
thank
you.
So
that was back in January. So all that, that stone's throw away.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, I love a comic where you just don't know what you're really getting into. And I'm really big on titles too. So I was like, okay, obviously this guy's Dream Master. So like, what does that mean? And like, I was just looking at the covers online, and I was just so like entrapped by not just the lines, but the color. And the colorist does such a Ruben.
Ruben
Corto. Yeah. He does such a good job of laying out the soundtrack for the comic, and like with Luigi and Ruben's work together, like you can feel like you're in the dream world, and that's what I really liked. And
one thing that I think I really appreciated about it was the way that the narrative was told. You kind of I think besides issue #3, correct me if I'm wrong, you start from the person whose dream that it is, their perspective.
Right.
And I thought that it was really interesting of reading issues #1 and 2 in that manner of seeing how these people got to learn about him in the brief time that they were in the dream world.
So the girl from issue 1, and then like the businessman or whatever from issue 2, like are there names for them?
You'll learn their names later on in the series. Yes.
Okay. Because I found that like a very interesting like aspect.
I wish I had a grill sound like I need a soundboard. I'm gonna get a soundboard.
But because like issue 1 and 2, like you have these two people who are having dreams. They're like living in a nightmare. And then in issue 3, Dream Master stumbles upon Otto, and I'm like, okay, this is the first like character that we're really being introduced to. Right. And you don't really know anything about the girl, you don't really know anything about the guy, and like Dream Master seems to barely know anything about himself.
Right.
And so like what is like the psychology behind like Dream Master's thinking? Like who are you like kind of like basing this just forgetfulness of who he is on?
A lot like the main protagonist from Memento. Think about it that way. Like that guy was always one step forward, two steps back.
That's one of my top 5 favorite films.
Great movie.
Yeah.
So Dream Master, part of the story for him in the series is that the more he uses his power to save these dreamers, he loses more of his memory of who he was. So so he's trying to use things within this dreamer's dream, like a hammer, like a crossbow, without having to use his actual magical powers, so he can actually retain something of who he used to be. And the longer the time goes without him using that power, the more he'll gain back. But then he's at risk of losing it. So the point of one of the main themes is we're learning who Dream Master is while we're reading this comic book, while Dream Master is learning it himself. So it's like this organic, building of the exposition throughout the entire series. So it's very challenging to write in one way, but it's also a lot of fun to write that way too. I can just kind of grow with this character.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Something I really appreciated about that was kind of the just natural forgetfulness of dreams, of just because you definitely have dreams where you're just like, wait, wasn't I just doing something else?
Right.
And I'm sure that that's probably what like Dream Master's day is like, of just like, wait, wasn't I just saving somebody?
Yeah.
Like I was just helping this person with a dragon or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So
that's when this project was presented to me. It was stressed that we make it feel like a dream, you know, that we hop from one scene to the next, you know. And so that's what I really like about it. You know, I can change the scenery. We're not always in the same town. We're not always in the same city. You know, I get to sit down in front of, you know, my pad and paper and be like, all right, where do I want to take Dream Master? You know, and what kind of crazy demon monster nightmare do I want to throw at him? You know,
Yeah.
Honestly, I finished writing the second volume, and it's just so much even more wilder than what this first one is. Now that I know like what I can do and what I've already done, and taking it into all kinds of other levels.
Well, so far it's a great introduction to Dream Master. Like I'm loving it. I ordered 4 and 5 directly from Black Box. I'll be waiting on those, and